need and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight.
I have a lot of people coming to me, asking me, Andrea, what can I do to support Black-owned businesses? One of the best things is collaboration. This makes me think of simply my aunt. My aunt used to have a hair salon, and one of her favorite things to do was to support kind of other local beauticians or freelancers. And so she would always showcase their stuff in the front of her store. And so if you have a business and you're like, I really would like to partner, but I don't quite know how, collaboration. Partnering with a business that you know is Black-owned, that you know is smaller and could use the extended help, could use being introduced to a bigger audience. Such a small but important act.
Voter suppression has taken many forms.
People have been denied the right to vote for, well, now 80 years.
First, they used the poll tax to keep black folks from voting. Then, it was the literacy test, racial terrorism, and violence.
I don't want everybody to vote.
New day, same old dirty tricks.
There are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting.
Calls for investigations after claims of voter suppression.
President Trump sabotaging efforts to vote by mail.
If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to take it from you. Vote early. Vote like your life depends on it. I'm exercising my right to vote, and you should too. Not because I want you to, but because he doesn't.
Your development of LGBTQ-focused compassionate healthcare. Keep the list below handy for quick access to general LGBTQ resources. Your local area has LGBTQ resources, even if you live in a small community or in a rural area. Seek these.
People experiencing homelessness could be hit especially hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, as the homeless population is older than California's population as a whole. Economic effects of the crisis will hit low-income Californians hardest, those who lose.
I want to ask every single American, no matter what party you normally vote for, to please, things have turned. And then think about what the next 4 years could mean for our country's future. The message we will send to our children about who we are and what we truly value. Think about what would possibly compel you to accept this level of chaos, violence, and confusion under this president, and be willing to watch our country continue to spiral out of control. Because we can no longer pretend that we don't know exactly who and what this president stands for. Search your hearts and your conscience. Hearts and your conscience.
The coronavirus quarantine is a great chance to tap your musical talents. Or read a book, or bake a cake. But it's not fun and games for everyone. Lockdown can quickly become locked up for victims of domestic violence.
We know lockdowns and quarantines are essential to suppressing COVID-19, but they can trap women with abusive partners. Over the past weeks, as economic and social pressures and fear have grown, we have seen a horrifying global surge in domestic violence.
Calls to abuse hotlines and police departments are spiking around the globe.
More than 1,000 deaths for 2 days straight now. Tonight, more than 223,000 lives have been lost. A public health official breaking down today. Hospitalizations increasing in 39 states. The Midwest and West hit especially hard. ABC's Alex Perez in Chicago tonight.
Tonight, an alarming surge in coronavirus cases, more than 82,000 in just the last day, the highest number since July. Deaths topping 1,000 for 2 straight days.
When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, say something, do something, get in trouble,
good Trevor, necessary Trevor.
He was always different than every member of Congress. Everybody knew what he had done. He was John Lewis.
We're marching today to dramatize to the world that hundreds and thousands of Negro citizens denied the right to vote.
The Kennedy family did have some part, at least they expressed a concern, and they did have some part in the release. But I must make it clear that many other forces worked to bring it about all.
If it's the last thing I do, I'll make you mine. Baby, my first thought is you. You're in my design, just like the stars guard the moon above you.
Running round on a treadmill, this ain't life. Turn around like a cartwheel, no, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race, gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. Love, fear, self-doubt, and self-deprecate. With a heart on my sleeve and a dream to chase. In a world, in a wood, in another time. Deep breath, fresh air, and a crystal sky. And a faithful guy on an open mic. Or with the spotlight on and the bass up bright. Is it too much to ask for in this lifetime? Oh, I believe there's more than these city walls. I got wings so I hardly fly. Say the birds I built so beautiful, but you won't get there until you take flight. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Just live with me. All I wanna do is, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to do is live, yeah. Running round on a treadmill, this ain't life. Turn around like a cartwheel, no, this ain't right. No, there's gotta be more than the rat race. Gotta be more. Who said we were lost in the first place? What makes them sure? Never been here before, so I'll never be the girl that I was. See, I'll never use the past as a crutch. Seems like right now might really be all that I got. Currency right now is my dreams, my love, my art. Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live?
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky.
Let it.
Let it resound.
Let it resound.
Loud as the rolling sea.
I like this part right here. Come on.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on.
Let us march on.
Till victory is won.
Yeah, we add a little something to it. Just to encourage you. We're going to take you to church later. Let's go.
We'll be marching right until the victory is won.
To all my brothers out there.
Hold your head up, brother, till the victory is won.
To all my sisters in the struggle.
Keep believing, sister, till the victory is won.
Till that day.
Till that day comes.
Hey.
Let us march on.
To victory.
Till victory is won. Is won.
They say life is what you make it. I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. They say life is what you make it.
Well, they say life is what you make it. I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. That's what Joe Biden told Flump. That's what Biden told Flump. He said, I know what I'm made of. I'm a legend in the making. You better ask somebody. I'm going to make history.
How many million?
And history, he did. History, he did.
I kept telling my husband I'm not going to be satisfied till he passes him by 5 million. But now I decided I want him to be passed by 6 million because Hillary beat him by 3. So I want to double my pleasure, double my fun, double my victory.
We want to make sure.
We got that with Kamala now. Come on now. We got many more victories to celebrate, my friends.
We just getting started. The party is just getting started. As they say, celebrate good times, come on. Because the party is just getting started and we just getting it crunk. What y'all think?
Absolutely.
Because I'm thinking,
You know?
I don't really know, but I do know this. Phew! Woo! That's the first thing I wanted to say while I was with you guys. Here's the other thing. Yes! Hell yes! That
And you know what? You talk a lot about how much it means to you that we're here, but I want to thank you for creating this platform so that we could participate in making some small difference for this victory. You did this, and I want to really let you know how much I appreciate you bringing me in. Sometimes kicking and screaming. But you bringing me in and you know, allowing me to participate and inspire and encourage others about the importance of this election. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to do that.
No,
And helping make history. There we go.
That's what we all have done. And I knew I couldn't do it alone, and I knew I needed my best people. I knew I needed brains, I needed heart and guts. Because this was going to be
it. You have those all.
Yeah.
And remember, we got a third yes we're going to be trying to slam down on the table, because we're going to talk about Georgia in January 5th, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That's when we really going to dance inside. I want everybody to be zooming and dance y'all ass off. We're going to have a dance off.
But no, it's not out of reach. I mean, Biden won the state. If he can win the state, we can win those Senate seats. It's not out of reach. And I'm excited because so many young people voted. And young people, once they get the taste of their vote matters, they'll go back and do it again.
And again, and again.
Yes.
And again.
66% of the first-time voters were young people.
Stacey Abrams, our secret weapon.
Registered 800,000 voters. I got a commercial about her.
Now that's a yes.
And counting. But she's been working on that for like a decade. You know what I mean? And come to find out, she wasn't just doing it there. She was traveling to other states, doing fast community training on, look, this is what you got to do. So people have been saying, putting her name up and also Jamie Harrison's name up as the next potential heads of the DNC. But in my mind, Stacey knows what she wants and where she wants to go. I don't think people should be suggesting anything. Let Stacey figure out her lane, because I think she wants to come back and get that governorship. That was stolen from her. I think she wants to come back and take it.
Maybe though that's why that governor is acting a little bit different down there right
He
now.
stole the election. He was the Secretary of State when he was running against her for governor. I mean, he stacked the deck against her. And can we talk a minute about how difficult they made this election in every Republican state? It is unthinkable to me that in America you have to stand on line for 10 hours to vote.
Oh, Philadelphia is another example because they couldn't touch a ballot, an early ballot. That's why we waited. You know what I mean? This is all what this was all his plan, best laid plan of mice and men, would surely go astray.
In this case, it's a rat.
It's a big rat.
I'm going to keep it positive, and I'm going to tell you, I know there's a God, and I know she's a sister. I'm telling you right now, like you said, best laid plans, you can call him a rat or what have you. God does not like ugly.
Girl, he don't care much about pretty either.
You know, and we talk about fundamental rights. There is no, to me, this is the fundamental of fundamental rights in terms of being able to exercise and participate in the future and how funding is directed. I mean, look at Prop 16. I'm just going to divert for a half a second. Here in California, some people said it wasn't the time to put it on the ballot. And here's what I say. Now that we've re-enfranchised how many people of color who lost their votes?
Yes.
Then if it wasn't time, it may be time again. And that proposition should be on our 2022 if it's not passed by the legislature. here in California. And so
explain to people what that.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, Annika, let the people know what Prop 16 is.
Okay, I'm my bad. There were how many propositions? 12. 12 with all kinds of weird. It started at 14. Why 14 is the number one? 14, 15 was the or changing taxes on commercial property. That was 15. 16 was what I grew up with and I benefited from. My father benefited from. My brothers benefited from. And that was affirmative action in the public universities. The Cal State system that has grown, the community college system that has also grown, as well as the UC system, one of the best here in California. We have, if not the best, one of the best public school system that remains reachable by even us poor working folks, that allows us to even the playing field.
I think though it was, Prop 16 was poorly worded. People didn't really understand it because, and like you said, it's like the Chinese torture. We got to wear it away. We got to keep putting it on the, you just have to keep putting it on the ballot. But coming full circle to the national election, someone pointed out to me, and I thought it was interesting, that those long lines and how difficult they made it, on one level you could say was a form of voter suppression, but I think it didn't voter suppress Black and brown people. I think it pissed them off. I think it's like, what? You gonna try to stop me? Watch this, mister. I'm getting online. But I think white folks said,
I'm going home.
It's too much.
Y'all got me twisted.
And then you have the opposite here in California with the mail ballots. And I think we have re-engaged a lot of disengaged here in California, or at least LA County, with the mail ballots here in LA County. Just for everybody's edification, everybody who was registered, whether you had voted by mail in the last 10 elections or not, was a high propensity voter, what have you, and the vote went through the roof. And we didn't, I have to say, we had a very different, I believe, a different experience in the general election than we did in our primary, where there was a lot of concern about people having to stay in line, bringing chairs and foods, holding places so they can go to the bathroom. I mean, you name it, it was done. And I think that, when you re-engage our community, I was very impressed. I was trying to look up what the highest voters for the Republican Party, because I wanted to see, did Trump top that number? Because his people are saying, we got our people out. We got our votes in 10 hours or long in these Republican states. Why didn't we win? So I'm just curious, was this the highest vote of Republican candidate had gotten in ever?
Yeah, it was the highest vote. It was the most Americans voting in a
period.
I mean, you know that when you look at the fact that when Hillary popularity vote, Hillary was a little under 3 million. You know what I mean? She didn't go over. We're hitting at 5, if I'm speaking it right.
And still counting.
And still counting with Biden. So, guys, if you're just coming in, joining, I'm just saying, with all my wonderful peeps, we got Denise Mins Harris. Lovely, wonderful, always stomping. If she could, she wouldn't be here. It would be a blank screen with her name, because she'd be down in Georgia messing with everybody. Tearing asses up. No, damn it, I said go register now. Damn it, I said put it in the mail. So yes, hashtag get the shit done. So we got
Annika. Show, come through.
Through. We got Miss Annika.
Come through again.
We got Miss.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me make sure I let y'all know who this is talking noise. That's talking shit. That's Miss Annika Vallejo.
That's right. I'm back. I got my babies being taken care of by their biological father, aka my husband.
Your baby daddy.
My baby daddy. The DNA came back positive. We didn't have to regulate. Acting fool.
But you're an attorney, because you might have had that shit worked out.
The vote was in. The fix was in. I'm just telling you. But this is what I'm saying. Conspiracy theories abound on both sides, and you can believe it. And there has been a lot of talk, even in California, about voter suppression and voter fraud, and who are all these people putting all these people votes on. And it's an interesting concept because fraud is something I used to prosecute. And it's just interesting to me. Again, going back to the propositions, it was like a litmus test if you had passed the 8th grade to figure out what the proposition was for. And I sat there and I thought to myself, okay, I'm a halfway intelligent, decent person who's been paying attention. Am I a yes or no? I used to go by who endorsed or supported the proposition as my quick way, but they even got quick on that. They're like, we're not going to put the American Medical Association or the nurses, because then people go one way or the other, because they trust nurses, they trust teachers, right? Now it's like the coalition in favor of anti-drug gun violence. Well, what does that mean? Go figure. So yeah. I think that now that we have more people who are engaged in this process, they may just say something like, do you support affirmative action and let the black and brown go ahead of you?
Wow.
As a form of reparations. Just break it down.
Well, all I know is my thanks to the Lincoln Project. I want to thank everybody in the Lincoln Project and Miss Cindy Lou. Miss the lovely Cindy Lou. I got to ask you something, girl. I got to ask you something. You knew I was going to ask you. And I'm going to be quick. I'm trying to be quick as I can. But Cindy know that me and her were there stomping with Hillary. We were running through Vegas. We was right there in the back on CNN and everything. And we were just brokenhearted to the core, when funky ass won. It was like we didn't even want to be the one to turn the station on for, for everyone, the fundraisers to even watch the inauguration. It was that bad. So I got to ask Cindy something, because I was telling Cindy, I want to see if she remembers this. I said, God is funny. He got jokes. They may end up with not just a woman, but a black woman. Did you tell the truth? Do you remember me saying that? So now I'm going to need my sister to tell me what she felt the very moment, that minute, that they said Joe Biden, when Pennsylvania gave it to him.
I felt so much excitement. It was all the excitement that I had for Hillary, that disappointing moment, but now, we have a black woman as a vice president. That's freaking amazing. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, the hell is over.
Girl, I thought about you. I said, the vindication was, Denise, I think you had it posted on your page. And then I spoke to Annika when all my girls called me. My heart was full. At some point, each one of you guys called me. I couldn't call nobody. No one knew but my wife that I was going through a horror. I was going into the abyss. I was getting sick. I was literally making myself sick. And that night, Cindy, after I talked to you, Denise, I took a few drinks and I crawled upstairs and climbed in bed and cut it on the Cosby Show and didn't turn it off. And I wouldn't watch.
It was looking really dark.
I wouldn't watch.
Really dark. Yeah. I was like, is this, because that night of the election, I was looking and I was like,
red there.
What's going on?
I had lost hope in the world, and then all I had was that little voice of a little lady with the strength of a lion that said to me before we got off that 30-minute show, I have no plan B. It is this or nothing. This is what I want, and this is what I'm claiming, which teaches you when you go to God, you be specific about what you want, you say it the way you want it, and leave it there. Because she let me know I don't have a plan B. I got to say, God damn it, what's my plan B? What country am I moving to, Cindy? What country am I going?
Well.
And guys, to prove that God is really a jokester, they going to have a Jew. They got Indian. They got Asian. They got black. Catholic. And from my understanding, rescue dogs. So.
Step parent.
Come on. That's right.
Wait, let me tell you something. I wouldn't move in that house till I had some major health care people go through there and clean that White House out top to bottom.
Burn it down.
I knew you were gonna say that. Burn it down.
Burn that motherfucker.
Burn that motherfucker down.
Burn it down.
Guys, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna watch when Kamala came out, honey. We're gonna watch this.
Please welcome the Vice President-elect of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. So, thank you. Good evening. So, Congressman John Lewis, before his passing, wrote, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act." And what he meant was that America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. To guard it and never take it for granted. And protecting our democracy takes struggle. It takes sacrifice, but there is joy in it, and there is progress, because we, the people, have the power to build a better future. And when our very democracy was on the ballot in this election, with the very soul of America at stake and the world watching, you ushered in a new day for America. To our campaign staff and volunteers, this extraordinary team, thank you for bringing more people than ever before.
Okay, guys, now to know what was going on with that, that was beautiful to see. This woman, we were just talking about it, me and my lovelies, my buddies. I'm laughing because God's laughing. Y'all didn't want Hillary. Now y'all got the black woman, the Asian woman, the Indian woman, and her Jewish husband.
Stepmother, the
your
first
Catholics,
husband.
your rescue dogs, everybody.
Someone said in the newspaper, one of the opinion writers said, it's not Biden Trump can't bring himself to concede to. It's knowing that it validates Kamala's existence in the West Wing.
Wow.
He will never concede that a black woman has a place in the White House.
He gonna have to concede.
I can see that would have him stuck.
I don't know that we're going to see a concession for him. I do.
Who cares? It's not in the Constitution as required.
That's what I'm saying. This is, I've been hearing a lot of Democrats, besides dancing and all of this, they've been complaining about how he has no class and he's not letting Biden do this. And I'm just,
what else is new?
There's no constitutional requirement for you to have class or respect or common decency or courtesy to be the president of the United States of America. Okay.
Lyndon Johnson used to hold meetings while he was taking a dump with the bathroom door open. That's just a fact. He was known for being a nasty, smelly ass with a foul mouth. And so That's not the point. The point is, come January 20th, just move on. It's over. If you, and I'm laughing at all these people who he's doing fundraising with, because that money's going in his pocket. That money is not going to defend my
they're gonna finance his trip to Russia out of here. Cause Annika, do you think he's coming back when he goes to Mar-a-Lago for Thanksgiving?
I don't know, but he's got a lot of little legal issues that remain unsolved, and there's
and $421 million due and payable soon.
To the IRS?
No, to somebody we don't know. Cindy, he might be sleeping with the fishes.
Well, we know he owe people.
He might be sleeping with the fishes.
It's coming for his ass because the loan paper they uncovered, and he did not deny he owes it, but he said, for someone of my financial stature, 421 million is nothing. I'm sorry, 421 million means something to Warren Buffett. 421 million. 421 million.
We're not Warren, but we agree with him that it means something. I really think that he is having a reckoning with reality in a way that, I was talking about this with my husband, and I said, well, he's doing something. He's doing something more with these legal challenges. And he goes, well, my husband says the electors have to, unless they're bought off or don't follow their requirements. And I said, ooh, bought off. How many does he need to buy? Because that's what I would expect him to do.
The whole damn Republican Party that ain't came out right now and told him to turn that shit over to Biden. What you think, Cindy?
What about the guy in Pennsylvania, the postal worker, who said that he witnessed fraud? He witnessed fraud going on. Then, upon investigation, he admitted he got paid $130,000 by the GOP to lie. And the truth is, he saw nothing fraudulent.
Oh yeah.
Now his behind is up on federal charges.
And he should.
All the dirt is happening on the Republican side.
It ain't our side. Cindy, they ain't the crook.
About it. I mean, people showed up and they showed out and they voted. Like, that's just what it is, especially when Trump told his people to go to the polls and voted. That's why we saw that sea of red, because that's all Trump people. And then all of the people that stayed home, like myself, I voted for
that ballot in.
Mailed I in, then all our votes started coming in. And overwhelmingly, you know what I mean?
But I wanted a tsunami. I didn't want a wave. I wanted a tsunami.
But one thing that I want to give this election is when it comes to Black Lives Matter and all the protesting and all that stuff that we got out in the streets and we did, like, this is what happens when we go and protest in front of the White House. Yeah, they were gassed in front of the White House, and people didn't forget that. People didn't forget, the racist comments that Trump said. You know what I mean? All the protesting, people are mad and they're upset, and they came out in droves and they voted.
People getting snatched off the streets of Portland, just snatched off the streets by Trump's fans, who didn't even have any badges or identification of what law enforcement division they were from.
Or where they were being taken. And for what? You walk down next to a federal post office. What?
It was mothers. It was mothers, white women who were there protecting Black protesters. Are you kidding me?
COVID and George Floyd.
He thinks he can go in Michigan, where the governor has a 51% approval rating, and attack her and win Michigan? Is he stupid or what?
Yes, he was stupid. I gotta answer it. He was damn stupid. He was damn stupid. We're gonna watch Joe Biden real quick, guys.
The people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory, a convincing victory, a victory for we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation.
Congressman John Lewis, before his passing, wrote, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act." And what he meant was that America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. to guard it and never take it for granted. And protecting our democracy takes struggle, it takes sacrifice, but there is joy in it, and there is progress, because we, the people, have the power to build a better future.
I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify, who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies, they are Americans. They're Americans. The Bible tells us, to everything there is a season, a time to build, a time to reap and a time to sow, and a time to heal. This is the time to heal in America. I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did. And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to. I believe that this is part of the mandate given to us from the American people. They want us to cooperate in their interest, and that's the choice I'll make. We must restore the soul of America. Our nation is shaped by the constant battle between our better angels and our darkest impulses. And what presidents say in this battle matters. It's time for our better angels to prevail. Tonight, the whole world is watching America. And I believe at our best, America is a beacon for the globe.
Let's keep our mask on.
Good job, guys. We're talking, and we're going to talk about what Annika is talking about, Miss Valley Cole. I would love to say she has some expertise on the subject with COVID-19 because she is a biochemist. Doesn't matter where from, but I'll still spout it out because Donald Trump do it from Yale. But we're talking.
It still does have an affirmative action program. Just give a shout out to our colleagues at Harvard that still have an affirmative action program that is still passing constitutional muster. But I just want to remind everybody that there has been some recent developments in the vaccine area, and that while we do have some very promising results, they're early results, and that remember to everyone that it's going to take some time to get these vaccines to the appropriate individuals. The vaccines are going to have to be delivered in more than one shot. And there's been some reports of that the different vaccines that have come out by different manufacturers have in fact some adverse reactions that still need to be worked out. So there's a light at the end of our tunnel, but we still need to keep our masks on. We still need to stay at least 6 feet away from each other when appropriate. We can't be gathering 30 and 40 strong for Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's and Kwanzaa. Everybody, let's say that together. We still need to keep separate, and that's going to be very hard because that's generally a time that we gather. And we really need to work on washing our hands and keeping the routine. Here in California, we do have a surge. We're seeing surges in many of the states. Some have been linked to the rallies from our recent elections. And thankfully, though, I don't see too much with respect to actual voting links to people who actually exercising their right to vote.
Right.
Really need to keep focus that this is going to be a long haul, and that if we want to get our economy working again and everybody back in school, we need to continue to pull together. We are better together, and we're better when we're not sick.
Let me ask you a question, because I want to know for the people out there, traveling. What do you think about traveling, flying, all this? And because my family members are wanting to have, not with me, but they want to have a small gathering with each other. And and probably about 20 people, I don't know. But I reached out and I want your opinion. And I reached out and called my sons and said, don't y'all go. Because everybody that, for each person, they said, keep everybody that's only been in your household immediate. So I'm trying to make sure, because I'm telling them, guys, you don't know what, you know, I know y'all love each other, but you don't know what your cousin been, where your cousin been. You don't know where your, you know, 8 cousins have been. Y'all don't know this. Then you got grandma. You're going to probably want her in a room somewhere. All of y'all, you get what I'm saying? So what do you think? What would you say to those people, Annika?
I would say that we have developed a lot of different technology that we're using right now to get together and to share. And while it's not the normal way that we would have this conversation, ladies, one day it will be in our houses together with drinks and food, what we used to. But right now we need to stay safe and we need to be focused. And while you yourself either may not catch the virus or may not have lethal consequences, we are not ready to say that we have a vaccine ready to roll out right now. And B, your mistake may lead to someone that you care about who may have more vulnerability that you know or don't know about. The reality is there are long-term consequences that we're still kind of delving down, neurological consequences that we're still delving down into. And we need everybody to be able to get our kids back to school, to get back to work and get our economy moving again in the way that we all want to see. Because we know that it's been women and people of color who had more of those in-person jobs that have suffered greatly economically, set apart from the medical consequences. So let's think big. And I would say, let's try to keep it to the household that you are currently in. This is one holidays that we can say hello and exchange our pleasantries, if you will, through the Zoom or another social media device. We all got cell phones, smartphones. We all know how to do this by now. If you have small children, we don't need to continue to expose ourselves anymore. The hospitals are starting to see surges and they want to be available to everyone. And if we use the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year's together, we are going to be put ourselves potentially in a place where we don't have the resources to combat this virus, and we set ourselves backwards instead of forwards.
So y'all out there, y'all hear that, right? So you got to make sure that you're not only looking out for yourself, you're looking out for your people, your family, and other people. And like she's saying, with the hospitals and stuff, I have a cousin right now, 20, I think he's 20, maybe 21. I had a car accident. I had a brain injury. He's in a coma. His mother can't see him. On top of that, while in there, he tested positive for COVID. So basically, all I'm saying is, which caused him not to be able to get an MRI for a while because the way they used the machine, you know what I mean, and things that were going on. So further, which is keep delaying his healing. And there was a woman that was having a heart attack. They couldn't even, this was in Oklahoma, they couldn't even get her in because they were full with COVID patients. They had to fly her 2 hours away. Now, can you imagine having a heart attack and they got to take you somewhere else?
You know, I look at COVID and contact with people. It reminds me of when AIDS was rampant. And the message they were saying at that time was, when you have unprotected sex, you're not just having sex with that person. You're having sex with everyone who they've ever had sex with, because you don't know where they got the virus. And so, you know, I think it's smart to stay within. People have created what they call their pods. You know, these are their folks. I've got a pod of about 4 people outside of my household who are as fanatical as I am about practicing safe measures. And I think you have to use common sense instead of baby sense. Baby sense is, I want it now. I've waited long enough. That's not common sense. That's tempting fate, you know. So I am having my pod here, but I'm working out even with them, even though I've been to their home, they've been to my home, I'm working out because it's going to be nice weather. We're going to have that table out in the yard.
That's right.
You know, and the other thing is, I heard a doctor say today that if you must have it inside, make sure all your windows are open. Keep the ventilation going.
I ain't giving you no way to do it, family. I'm not giving y'all no reason to do it. Now, y'all ain't in Cali. I'm not giving you no reason, no way. Fuck it. I'm not. And I don't have no parts. I don't. Denise the only person I got close to because I knew she was okay. You know, cause I know she's looking out for herself and her husband because, you know, he's been through some things. But basically, you know.
Yeah, just like my son who's coming in from Texas, he said to me, Mom, who's coming? I said, just family. He said, but when you say family, that could be 200 people. So,
I was about to say.
So I said, honey, your dad had lung cancer this year. When I say family, I mean just family. And I named the 6 people who are going to be here. I said, that's it. Because I can't play that game. Because I don't know, I can't guarantee how conscientious other people have been.
What about you, Cindy? You got to be cautious. Like I said, my Ben had a niece that her car broke down. She had flew to Arizona to pick up her car, going to drive it back to Oregon. And it happened to stop not far from where we stay. But we couldn't let her in. You know what I mean? Literally, they'd let her Uber to a hotel. I'll pay for your hotel room if you don't have it. She's not have points. Plus, she worked for USDA, so she's traveled all the time to the meat packing place. You know what I mean? So we couldn't do it. Her daughter moved out. This is someone that was here helping us. She doesn't come in here. We put up a sign that said no mask, no entry, and that was just for her because anybody else no entry. And we let her know you're out doing things now. You mentioned you met some of your friends who are, you know, she's a protecting service. She's out there doing her best, front line worker. But we're saying you out on the front line is not the same. You know what I mean? It's when you stepped in the garage, changed clothes, came in the house, took a shower again, went in your room for a couple of hours, then came out. And most of the time we didn't see you anyway, but we watched, so we couldn't do it.
And this is why we have to win the Senate race in Georgia, because we are not going to get the kind of national plan. This checkerboard solution for
trying to figure the shit out is what she's saying. We want a new plan. We want to get back together. I want to be able to go hang out with Cindy and ride with Cindy in her new Honda Accord. I want to be up inside Black Panther, and I want Cindy to be turning curve, and I want to be that one that what is it? What T-Boz and them was singing about. I want to be the scrub. Sitting on the passenger side of my best friend's ride.
You know, Dion, like one of the things about this COVID-19 is it's a whole new reality. You know what I mean? And we've never lived through anything like this before in our entire lives. You know, Denise talked about the HIV pandemic. But, you know, for me, like I was born in the 80s, so I don't really have any recollection. I've heard about the HIV and it still lingers, you know, around today. But today, like with the generation, you know, what we call us, the
millennials, y'all are millennials.
And, you know, this is our HIV pandemic, you know, the coronavirus, you know, and what have we done to be able to combat that? Well, for me, you always got to get a cute mask.
Get it, girl.
You know, Nike little mask, you know, get your... You know, I got my black one, I got my red one, I got my gray one, I got my white one, you know, and I got to figure out what outfit that I got to wear with my COVID
coordinate.
mask.
She coordinates.
Because, you know, now it's like, it's taking on like a whole different image. Like, you know, okay, well, how can I make my mask match my outfit? You know, we gotta wear it. It's got to look cute. You know what I mean? So... we got to go through this. I'm going to make sure I can serve it very fashionably, you know? Another thing that I've had to do is I've had to get a thermometer, you know?
Girl, so yeah, we ordered one of those.
You know, so anytime, you know.
Wait a minute, Cindy. Do that again, girl. Do that again, girl.
Let's see if she's safe to talk to on Zoom.
You know, and I got a 98.1.
She got to check that temperature, dog.
You got to check that temperature. And anybody that I hang out with, I'll be like, You know? You gotta take the temperature first, you know, because if this thing turns red, you ain't. You gotta go.
But you know what's so funny is I realized
That was too cute.
the only time I leave the house is when I go grocery shopping, which is not me. I stay in the streets. I don't miss social butterfly. Anyway.
I know that you feel.
But the other day I had to go up in the office. I'd not been in that office since March. Or I went in one time to get my stuff since March, and I had to go in there yesterday. And they were teasing me because I not only had on a mask, I had on gloves. I was like, I'm not. And so someone said, I can't believe you wearing gloves. I'm not taking nothing from here back to my house. And I came home, I took off my clothes. I was like, no. I sure did wear some gloves. I was like, no. I had to, you had to open the door. You have to press an elevator button. No.
But she's right. She's right.
You saw I had on my gloves yesterday.
Your butt is crazy.
Like a fox. I'm not playing with no COVID.
I don't know. I can't do it because I'm too scared. Like I said, they don't have no cure. AIDS, at least, you had to know. You knew how you could catch it.
Yeah, but in the beginning, they didn't know how that was happening either.
No, but I wasn't just kissing everybody. But my thing is, when that was fine. But this thing here, I mean, even when I go in the store, I'm a bitch. You know what I mean? I'm looking like if you up on me too close, I'm like, you better back up out.
I told him, I said, excuse me, my husband's recovering from lung cancer. You got to step back. You are too close. And he was like, oh, sister, I'm sorry. But no, you got to step back.
They got it down there 6 feet. I need about 2 more feet.
You ain't never seen me in person. I was like, I ain't but 4'11", but you would have thought I was the green giant. I was like, you got to step back. And I said it with such command. He big old black dude. I'm sorry, sister. I'm like, no problem.
And it ain't personal. It ain't personal, but it's gonna be personal, Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia. Do y'all know that the country, tell them Cindy said, the country, the whole country.
Singing that song. What's that song?
Georgia on my mind.
No, it's by what's his name, Louis Armstrong. That Georgia.
That's Georgia on my mind. That's Ray Charles.
See, she was a millennial.
That's the name of the show. Georgia on my mind.
But she knew the rhythm. Go ahead, girl.
That's the name of the song. Georgia on my mind. Name of the show. Georgia on my mind. Georgia.
I was playing that song.
Version this week. John Legend did a version this week and put it on Facebook. It's so lovely.
Y'all need to go watch. But George, what I need y'all to do is get it on.
Right.
Because you guys. Again, history has been made, but you guys played a pivotal role. I mean, like one of those, not like a size 10, like a size 15 step. So we need you, and we do need you, sisters, brothers. And when I say sisters, brothers, I'm talking about of all races, nationalities. I need you to get out. Or mail in.
Has no race.
Mail in like you never did before. And we know this is why we need the Senate. We have put this man in office and put the first woman of multiple races in office.
Not just black. I know we're politically correct, but she considers herself a black woman.
That's a black woman if I ever seen one.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. By the way she acts.
At the end of the day.
I consider her my vice president. That's what I consider her.
The VP stepping to Mary J. Blige. Own it.
And our future president.
I think we're going to have to do, though, those of us, we can't vote in Georgia, right?
No.
But the challenge is right now, Mitch McConnell dumped $10 million in Georgia to win his, because he wants to stay the head of the Senate.
Oh, no problem. I'm going to call my boy. Me and him real cool. See, I'm going to call him as soon as we hang up. I'm calling
to this campaign. We gotta put our money where our heart is.
Well, I'm calling my boy. What's the billionaire name? I'm gonna hit him up.
Bloomberg.
Yeah, I'm saying Bloomberg. He did 10. I need you to do 40. You a badass like that. Just give us 40.
Even if it's $5, we gotta contribute. There are opportunities to connect online with what's happening in Georgia and write postcards. There are opportunities to sign up to do phone calls and text messaging. This. It's a statewide campaign with a national impact.
National, because you
And
got
an
a president.
international audience.
Because you got a president that don't want to leave. He don't know his ass been fired.
Also, that played a big role in Georgia was Tyler Perry, because you guys remember that Versus. That Versus was in Tyler Perry studios in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they were doing Getting Out the Vote. Brandy and Monica and all that. Like, all that was done through Tyler Perry. And, you know, Atlanta is starting to become the new Hollywood. You know?
That's Chocolate City.
Yeah. You know, so when the star power starts to really go in Atlanta, this is what happens.
Y'all better get y'all ass out in Atlanta and turn it over like y'all just did, because y'all earn my, I will take a bow. I take my hat out to you.
Obama's going down there, and Kamala's going down there.
Michelle, I hope she going too. I know who would be down there if Kobe wasn't there. Denise would be there.
I'd be knocking on the damn doors.
And the other, hello, how you doing? And the other thing we got to make sure of, guys, y'all better call your senators. Yes, you can find the number. Tell their phone line shut the fuck down and tell them you want Trump the fuck out of there, because their elections, especially Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, you're not saying anything was wrong with your election. It's won. You won. But you won't admit that Trump got his ass whooped. He got knocked the fuck out.
They don't want Trump to become their enemy, because there's a bunch of them running in 2 years.
Fuck him.
And Trump is funny. He's like, you either with me or you against me.
But he ain't done shit for him in the first place. He didn't help Lindsey. He didn't help Mitch. And he ain't going to help these two that's running now.
That's not true. Trump gave Mitch McConnell's wife was in the cabinet, and her family in China owned some major businesses that Trump gave that family U.S. contracts. So they made millions of dollars, millions of American dollars.
That still ain't what I'm saying about helping him win being a senator. Trump ain't helped none of the down ballot tickets.
They care about power and money.
Okay, well, take their fucking money and step on. Resign.
You know, ladies, what I'm wondering is who's going to be next California senator? Because you know Kamala Harris is being replaced, and Gavin Newsom needs to replace.
They say he's appointing somebody. Denise, do you or Annika know who that is? I heard he's going to.
I don't know, but I'm a fan of Karen Bass.
I'm a big fan of Karen Bass, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Karen Bass and Xavier Becerra, who right now is the state attorney general.
And I'm hearing his name a lot. I'm hearing Xavier's name a lot.
It could be the circles I run in, because I'm hearing a lot of Karen Bass. Karen Bass is a badass, and you would do yourself well to check out her history. Because she was Speaker of the House of the state when we were going spiraling down in our own economy. And she pulled the Republicans and the Democrats together, made them sit down, made them compromise, made them come up with a plan. She went back to her own caucus who were pissed off at her. And she's like, look, ain't nobody getting everything they want, but we getting enough to keep this state running. She's a badass. She is a badass. And a lot of people sleep on her because she doesn't come off as very charismatic, but she's a genius, and she knows how to govern.
She is well versed, and she's got the experience. She's already a member of one house, and I think she would be well placed. There have been some
head of the Congressional Black Caucus right now too.
The other names I've heard about: Adam Schiff. Not so much of a fan of him since he turned his back on Jacqueline Lacey's. And also another one who turned his back on Jacqueline Lacey, Eric Garcetti. Eric Garcetti.
I ain't feeling Jackie Lacey, but that's another story for another day.
I am.
A lot of it's smart, but I don't like you endorse her, that front runner, and then she's not gonna win. Well, let me turn my back on that. I don't like
different. That's different.
You talking about the bait and switch, like go out in the way the wind blow.
Right. Then your word is meaningless. Your endorsement is meaningless.
Right.
I mean, you might just wait till the votes are in.
Yeah, but if I was lazy, I'd be still knocking the fuck out of my husband, knowing I'm running and you gonna come out with a gun.
Come on now.
Cause she probably would have still won. You know what I mean? But again, Stacey Abrams, we give you love, respect, and honor you. Cause we definitely think that you did your thing.
Damn sure did the thing.
You did your thing.
She did the thing.
And you set an example that a fool should follow, but that fool is too foolish to follow. Because even in loss, when it was stolen from you for real, look what you did. My, look what wondrous work you did.
Didn't she make some lemonade from
She
them
made
lemons?
some damn good lemonade. I'm still drinking on it. I'm still drinking on it. My sugar gonna go up. I'm gonna drink shit out of it.
She's gonna have the last drink on that, y'all, because I definitely think she should be coming back for a governorship.
She should be doing something. We're gonna watch her.
Because when it gets hard, when it gets tough, when your friends walk away from you, when your supporters forget you, when you don't win your first race, if you don't know why, you can't try again. Sometimes you just get tired of trying. But we also learn in those moments that fatigue is an opportunity to evaluate how much we want it. That's why you go back to the why of it. Because I know we have to have women who speak for the voiceless. I know we have to have people of good conscience who stand up against oppression. I know we have to have people who understand that social justice belongs to us all. And that wakes me up every morning, and that makes me fight even harder. I know what I want, and that is justice. I know why I want it, because poverty is immoral and it is a stain on our nation. And I know how I'm going to get it, by moving forward every single day.
Pete Buttigieg. Guys, we're talking about Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, I love Pete. Maybe Pete.
Yeah,
They talking about making him.
I gave him money. I gave him and Kamala money.
But listen,
I
Denise, not to cut Annika off, this is about Pete, because she was saying she loved him. This is when I really grew to love him. Denise, I go to you because you quote, write shit down, and remember stuff. Pete had a heckler heckling him when he was speaking about Biden. Now, you tell me what he said to that man, because what he said, I sat down and I said, shit, let me get a drink on that. That boy bad.
He said to him, are you against white supremacy? And the guy said, yeah. He said, see, we're finding common ground. We're finding common ground. And that's what he did. He took the guy who was coming at him and he made lemonade. He was like, in other words, he started throwing stuff at him.
He was throwing a lot of other stuff at him first because he was eating him up, but he was so calm and collected.
Not intimidated. You know why? Because he's a killer. Don't forget.
Now, Pete, that little kid that look at you and will say some smart ass shit and face won't change.
I think he's Donnie Dork. Okay? He was in the military. He is a medal winner. He is a Rhodes Scholar. And I think there are big things. There's a big future for him in this country. To be honest, in retrospect, with the exception of that crazy chick, Tulsi Gabbard, with the exception of Tulsi Gabbard, the whole slate of
good people.
Mm-hmm. Were people who, I hope, like the guy.
I know about Mary. What's her name? That one.
Mary Williamson. She told
the truth. She had some good points, but she was kind of
too truthful.
she had
too connected with the outer space.
Well, no, her comments were right on board, but they were on board if you are a spiritual person of that inclination.
All I know is
level of spirituality, it'd be like, what is she talking about?
I'm like Cindy, she's kind of scared me. I kind of was thinking we were planning or something.
I like the Pete.
But guys, go ahead.
Where's Elizabeth gonna go? Where's the Bernie?
Elizabeth's supposed to be treasurer. I'm hearing Bernie's supposed to be. It was something else, but what was it Bernie's doing?
Secretary of Labor.
It was Secretary of Labor. But
actually, that would be a very good fit, I would imagine.
I know it would be a really great fit, and it'd give Bernie ass something to do, and get them folks $15 and everything he's been trying to do anyway, try.
I mean, we need to make sure that with the Senate so close, we need to make sure we have legacies, and we need to start our planning, because if Javier does go to the Senate seat, then who's the next attorney general? Are you going to pull from LA, Gascon? Who are you going to pull from San Francisco?
You can't pull Gascon. Gascon just got here.
Like I said,
we got work to do because we don't want shit to change. Cali is lovable. I don't want it fuckable. And I did say that. Now, guys, also we got to think about one thing. John Lewis's seat was filled by a woman. Okay, and that's
one of his proteges, though. She was one of his proteges.
Yes, Miss Nikema Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling her as far as a human being. As far as I feel like she's very humble and ready to step into his legacy. Unlike what I felt they did to my RBG. I'm still angry about that shit. But we digress, and I'll throw my collar on that. Anyway, because I still think RBJ deserved better than what they gave her. And I hope that she makes that bitch toss and turn at night. But she's not even
I'd be interested in your opinion because I'm all about stack the damn court.
Annika, what do you think?
Look, I'm going to have to be a minority view on this. I think that judges need to stop being so damn political. We are human beings. It is the judges who stood up to the masses and said, no, there shall be busing. You will integrate. And you need judges to have courage and independence. And be honest with you, this woman getting in like that, I felt bad about her at first because I'm pro-choice. However, as a woman, a married woman, a mother who works, I was very excited to see a working mother at such a high level of the judiciary because I think that's important. We need women who go through what we've all gone through, putting our pants on, getting our kids out the door and trying to get to work and still doing the damn thing. You see what I'm saying? Having a say in how things work. And that's still something that we're trying to change, especially within the judiciary. I think LA County is like 82% or some ridiculous number still white, male. And that has to change. It needs
But she's also theoretically what you're saying, I'm with you. Totally agree. That kind of woman that kind of life experience on the bench is critical.
That's what LBJ was, though.
My issue with her is that her values that she has expressed about women are something out of some
they're obscured.
The dark age of Christianity. And see, that's the other thing. I'm a Buddhist. So I get real leery about people imposing their religious values on me because Christianity has many, many gradations. You know what I'm saying? And the piece that she's grabbed from it, in terms of women subordinating herself to her husband and that kind of stuff, and not being a self-actualized woman, in spite of the fact of where her career is. So she's not, in my opinion, the right one.
She's not. And I don't like the fact that when they found out about when she had, before she was doing what she was doing and she had became a judge, she worked for a school. She still was on the board of this school that determined what children got let into this private school. And come to find out, if she found out the parents were in the LGBTQ community, she refused the children.
So I'm waiting to see how the thing goes down with Obamacare because I believe justice, it's no small thing to be the Chief Justice. It's no small thing. They control the game. Right. They make the final decision. Just like Mitch McConnell decides what we're going to vote on, Roberts has a whole lot of power about what we're going to listen about. This is his, I think, 5th or 6th time listening to Obamacare. He done heard more Obamacare cases than he can shake a stick at.
So they kind of lean the way he leans, right?
No, he just controls what they hear and he influences how they may come down on it. They don't always all agree. Mm-hmm. But right now, the way the court is stacked heavily to the conservative side, I don't believe that's what the founding fathers intended because they were political appointments. Trump made no secret of the fact that he was appointing people who would kill Obamacare based on their writings and opinion, that he was appointing people who would get rid of Roe v. Wade based on their personal writings and opinions prior to becoming judges. So, can they rise to the occasion? I would like to think that the law, in its own way, is a religion.
I put it like this: if Trump, I feel before Christ, if Trump had won this election, we would lose. We would have lost Obamacare. I feel that with her knowing he is not going to be president and there's nothing that she can do about it, which is why he placed her there, and we all know this, so that to be stacked against him for him.
Roe v. Wade's coming before them in the next week or so too.
Yeah,
a lot of.
But
value.
I'm still thinking that her little ass is going to sit a little quieter, because she know that there's that chance that Biden could stack that court.
I think Chief Justice Roberts is going to try to keep a handle on it. And the minute he shows he cannot keep a handle on it, I think we need to stack the damn court. Because there's no rule that it has to be 9.
And Monica, Biden's going to pick one woman out of it. If he picks, he's going to have a woman.
He said he was going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's what he said.
Well, this black woman is available.
I nominate
Not my nomination.
Yes, Carol, because she's ran for judge and talking about
what I'm saying is that I think being a judge should be depoliticized and not and I feel like I wouldn't even say just the last 4 years. Certainly when you see different nominations go up, I just really think that we are all people. And if we look back at this election, this historic election, we had talked, I think, privately a little bit about this, Dion, that I was a little surprised by the number of votes that the Republicans brought to the table. I mean, they had a game out there. Now, it wasn't a winning game, right? But they had a game, and it worked. And I think that the Supreme Court and every court that falls underneath it should reflect our community. And it shouldn't be all Democrats. It shouldn't be all, this. It shouldn't be all that. There needs to be independent thought. There was a time in our judicial history where you and I and everybody on this call were personal properties, worth 3/5 of a white man. Okay. And thankfully, that has changed. And there are a lot of more changes that we want to see in our community. And I really feel that we need to have all souls, all experiences, and celebrate that. Even those who disagree with some I have a very fundamental support for Roe v. Wade, because as I will share with you ladies, there is nothing that determines a woman's place in this world as to when and with whom and the circumstances that she becomes a mother, whether she brings those children to bear, whether she gets married, single, become part of a foster system or adoption system. There is nothing more dispositive that determines who you are in this community. And I think because of that, that is a conversation that our voices need to be heard loud and clearly on.
Absolutely.
Amen. We're gonna close it on that note. I need one last thing. Do you guys think that Trump's gonna go out with a bang? Do you think he's gonna vacate
straight jacket?
You think he's gonna vacate to Mar-a-Lago and we don't hear from him no more?
He's going out in a straight jacket.
You took straight jacket. I say gunpoint. I say it at gunpoint.
What about you, Cindy?
I'm waiting for the season finale because this show is, the tweeting and the drama and the ruckus, I'm waiting for the season finale, honey, because he gonna do something real crazy.
I pray you wrong, sis. I pray you wrong, because
she might be right.
But I got some advice for him. If he keep acting crazy, anybody want to run out, and we gonna burn that bitch down with him left if he don't want to come out. Now that's if he don't want to come out. Just smoke him on out. Throw some smoke bombs. He'll come out choking.
Oh, the hazmat. I remember Mitch McConnell said he won't even go to the White House because he said, I don't like the way they're running things there.
Well, see, that's what lets you know something wrong.
He won't
Mitch
walk.
McConnell's one foot in the grave already. He can't go to no damn White House. You see how his hands were?
He's sick. He's sick. And still trying to fight for power when he should be sitting down holding them hands. I don't even understand, guys. We don't know
what the other guy looks like. He might have won the fight. We don't know.
Let me tell you something. That one might have put one of them roots on him. Cause she's not ugly. She still got a lot of life left in her.
Well, his Chinese wife?
Yeah, she ain't ugly and she ain't old. She probably feel he holding on too long. Let go, it don't want you no more.
A little seasoning in his food.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wish all of our colleagues well. And
We are. One last thing, since we brought up Mitch, why does he not get offended when Trump say, oh, I said the fucking word. When that fool say China virus, I'd be mad as hell if I know I got a China.
Money, because he has the money. He knows that Trump's a short-lived phenomena. He was having power before Trump got there, and he believes he's gonna have power when Trump leaves. That's why we gotta win Georgia. I can't say it enough.
We gotta win Georgia. And guys,
Georgia's on our mind, ladies and gentlemen.
And
Georgia.
this is the first time I'm able to say goodbye with every one of you guys. Beautiful faces are all still up here. Ain't nobody ran out, dotted out, and they had to go. So let's do this, guys. We know that knowledge is power. I brought a lot of knowledge to the floor. I always do. I don't travel alone. You know what I mean? When I dance in a group, and we be stepping. I step with Miss Denise Mins Harris. I step with Miss Annika Valley Cole, and I step with the lovely Cindy Davis. And we are looking for Cindy a boyfriend. Everybody, don't forget. Send the emails in. Send the pictures in. Must have a what, Denise?
Job.
J-O-B. That's right. And she leans toward Latino.
Let's stimulate the economy.
As a matter of fact, I'm about to get off here and do Spanish homework because
you want to be ready. Guys, knowledge is power, but love is everything. Georgia, help us. Help you. We got to get you out there voting. We need you to do it just one more time. What they said, Cindy, we're going to leave with the song. Y'all know this song, The Second Time Around by Shalimar. We're going to need that second time around from y'all guys. Let's make it better than the first time. Y'all have a good night. We love you. Good night.
You ready, Sam?
Yeah.
We tell everybody what they can be when they grow up. They can be anything. You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
You can be an A. You can be an architect. Get a building to kiss the sky. You can be a B. You can be a biochemist, make medicine, save lives. You can be a C, computer or software developer, or programs, systems, and files. You can be a D, you can be a dentist, because everybody loves to smile. You can be an E, you can be an engineer, solve problems of all kinds. Chemical, mechanical, electrical, use the power of your mind. You can be an S, you can be a firefighter, fight fires in red trucks. You can be a G, gastroenterologist, deal with problems in the gut. You can be an H, hospital administrator, hospitals need leaders. You can be an I, intelligence officer, the FBI kind of people. You can be a J, you can be a judge, help people who seek justice. You can be a K, kindergarten teacher, those kids are young and restless. You can be an L, you can be a lawyer, cause people need to know their rights. You can be an M, mobile app developer, like the people that made Fortnite. You can be an N, you can be a nurse, medical care for the masses. You can be an O, optometrist, for people that need eyeglasses. You can be a P, paramedic, for medical emergencies. You can be a Q, quantum physicist, of particles and energy. You can be an R, researcher, find cures for disease. You can be an S, stockbroker, you get to work with money. You can be a T, truck mechanic, trucks are critical transportation. You can be a U, university president, motor feature of your nation. You can be a V, video game designer, with Xboxes and PlayStations. You can be a W, web developer. It's an online occupation. Now take that S. You can be your own boss, make an impact on the world. And with that Y, you can be your own boss. Tell me, boy and girl. And with that Z, Z's and strive. You can reach the sky if you try. Just don't be a Z, just don't be a zombie. And let the wind pass you by.
There's an old friend that I once heard say something that touched my heart, and it begins this way. I was born by the river in the little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Well, it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come. Well, I go to my brother, and I say, brother, brother, help me, please. Oh, no. But when I go to my dear brother, oh, he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. There's been times when I thought I wouldn't last long, but somehow I'm able to carry on. It's been a
They say life is what you make it. I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah, yeah. make it. Well, I'm a legend in the making. I know just what I'm made of. Oh. They say life is what you make it, yeah. Well, I'm a legend in the making, yeah. I know just what I'm made of, yeah. Oh. They say life is what you make it. Well, I'm a legend in the making.